In this video, I will walk you through the installation process for our recommended ecosystem. We will be installing Python 3, Geoserver, QGIS, and PostgreSQL, as well as some of their dependencies. So first off, let's start with Python 3. So we'll follow this link, and in the notes, it says recommended long-term support version between 3.7 and 3.12. So we'll go back here and we'll download Python 3.12. So this is for Windows, but if you have a different kind, that's also fine. So we want to add Python to the path. So we'll install now. All right, so our setup was successful. So now let's check the installation of Python by opening up a terminal or PowerShell. So I'll open this. If I type in Python, it brings up the Python shell. So we know that it's installed. If you cannot find it this way, look up how to change your environment variables. Usually if you just type environment, it'll come up. You'll go to your environment variables, and then you'll want to modify the path variable. So you can see here, this is where my Python is. So local programs, Python 3.12, and then 3.12/scripts. So as long as you have those in your path variable, Python should be visible to the rest of your computer so you can use it. So that's Python sorted. Next, we're going to install Geoserver. So we can follow the link to our tutorial. And this gives the options for the Windows installer and the web archive. You can use the Windows installer. I'll do the web archive version, which uses Apache Tomcat. But the first thing we need to do is to have a JRE installed in our system. So they recommend these different versions, and I have a recommended version here. So we'll go ahead and download that. So I'll scroll down. I have Windows 64, so I'll download JRE. Install, and then, okay, now that's done. So it is opened. So we'll go through the setup. I'm going to ask it to set the Java home variable. Install. You may have to give the app permissions. Don't worry about it. Yes. Great, so that's complete. So now we've got that installed. The next step is to get Apache Tomcat. So we'll scroll down. We're going to use Apache Tomcat 9. So we're going to go to the website, and then for us, for Windows users, we're going to scroll down and choose this option. So we'll close out of that. So scroll down, this installer, download. So we are going to download all of these. Tomcat 9, you can leave the ports as their defaults, and then you can create an administrator login. You can do something simple like admin, lowercase, and Tomcat. And so now it needs the JRE that we just installed. So it might detect it automatically, or you might have to go back and look for it. But in any case, you want Java 8 or later JRE directed here. Check that this is okay for where you want it to download. Great, and now we're set. So I don't need to run Apache Tomcat right now because we want to make some edits to it really quickly. Finish. All right, and now if we go back here, it will say we want to make some changes to Tomcat before we start it. So let's go to the Tomcat 9W directory. So we'll open up our folders. So I believe mine is in here, program files, likely under Apache Software Foundation, Tomcat 9, use administrator access, and then it should be in the bin. There's Tomcat 9, W. All right, so the changes that we want to make are in the Java tab. We want to increase the initial memory pool from 128 to 512, and the maximum memory pool up to 1024. Say OK. So now what we can do is start our Tomcat service. And this is the same way if you did start Tomcat before you modified the Java memory pool sizes, you can stop the process and then restart it after you've made those changes. So the way that we're going to start Tomcat is by searching services. And we will look for Apache Tomcat. And we will start the service. Great, so it is running. So now if we copy and paste localhost colon 8080 up into our URL bar, there's Apache Tomcat. Great, so we have Apache Tomcat running. So now what we're going to do is install our Geoserver. So we'll go to the Geoserver link here. You can choose what kind you want. This is the recommended one. So we will download here and we'll use the web archive version. All right, here's our pop-up. We'll save it there. Right, so now our download is finally done. We're going to unzip this download file. You can use whatever sort of extraction you want. I'm just going to use the built-in extraction. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to copy this geoserver.war file, and we are going to open up our Tomcat directory again. And now instead of going into the bin file or folder, we're going to go into the web apps and just paste that geoserver.war file. And because Tomcat is currently running, in a second, it should populate this directory with a geoserver file. And there it is. So now if we exit out of this and exit out of this and this, we can go to our Apache Tomcat and go to our manager app. Sign in with the login that we created. Now we see Geoserver here. It is not currently running. We will start it running. Great, and now it's running. So if we go back up here and we just revert this back to localhost 8080, which is where our base Tomcat is, and we do /geoserver. Here's our local Geoserver instance. So the default login for this is admin and lowercase Geoserver. So let's log in. And now we have Geoserver successfully set up and logged in. So it'll recommend that you change the master password and the administrator password. You can do it if you want. It's not necessary though. So now we have Geoserver complete. We only have two things left, so QGIS and PostgreSQL. QGIS will take this recommended version. We'll do the most stable, which is the 3.28, which is the one that's recommended. We'll install. So QGIS is now downloaded. Let's open it up. All right, so we'll just go through this. Select what we want it to be downloaded to. QGIS is now fully installed, so we'll just finish that. Now we can just check on our QGIS. So we can open up a new project, scroll down to XYZ tiles, open up OpenStreetMap, and this is going to be our base map of the different maps we're going to be creating. But this is all we need to see for now, just that it's installed, it's working, and we can now install our final element, which is PostgreSQL. And we're going to include pgadmin4 in the installation. So let's go to our link first, download for Windows. We use download the installer and Windows basic 64. Save. Great, so that's installed. Let's open it up. So now we've got the prompt to allow it to install with administrator access. Next, next, to include pgadmin4. Next, we use the super user. So the username will be Postgres. The password for this, we'll just use Postgres. Easy to remember for later. We'll leave the port at the default 5432. Locale will just be the default location we're in. And now we will start our installation. So now this is installed, we'll finish. And this is opening up Stack Builder. We'll go ahead and install an extension, PostgreSQL. We'll do spatial extensions, the PostGIS bundle. Make sure it's selected, next. Great, so next, agree. We'll check create spatial database. Postgres, our password is Postgres. That's what we set it to before. And we will create a database name and I'll just do Pete test. Install. Complete. All right, finish. So congratulations, you've completed the installation section of our hackathon.